Good morning, English students. Today we are going to look at formatting a document in MLA style. And I'm working in Word, but this works in Google just as well. So when you open a document, your cursor is automatically in the top left. So I'm going to begin typing. So here I've got my identifying information on the top. And then I'm wondering, are the margins right? Is the spacing right? So I'm going to select everything. I'm going to check my spacing. No, I want double space, so I'm going to click that. Now I want to show you something about line spacing options. Depending on your operating system, you may have some choices here that says add a line before paragraph, add line after paragraph, or remove line before paragraph and remove line after paragraph. If you see the word remove, choose it, click on it. Click on both removes so that, in other words, what then will be showing, the toggle will be saying to add, but you don't want to add. If you are working on a system that gives you the line spacing options, you want to go down here to remove. Do not add space between paragraphs of the same style. That gets rid of that white space between paragraphs. Every time you hit return, it's going to add some line, one line, I think. Okay, so we've got that. Now let's double check our margins. Let's look at layout, margins. MLA margins are 1 inch on all 4 sides. This says normal. We're just going to click it. Boom. You don't have to go up here to these margin icons and change anything. You can see this is technically 1 inch, although if you physically measure it with a ruler after the page prints out, it's a little bit more than 1 inch, but that's fine, don't worry about it. So what do we have next after our identifying information? Hit return or enter. Notice we've just gone down one return. Now we want to go back home and click center the text. Your title goes here. A few things to notice about the title. It's not underlined. It's not in bold. It's not any fancy pants text. There's no quote marks around it. Simply the first letter of each word in a title is capitalized, just like in a book or a movie title. Press return once. Go back to home. Whoops, I was home. Select your flush left margin. Press tab once. Every paragraph is indented 1 tab. When you're done with your introduction, press return once, tab once. There you go. If you are doing a paper that requires a works cited page, at the bottom of your paper you insert a page break. The works cited does not begin at the bottom of the last page. It starts at the top of its own page. The title of the page is centered. Press return once, go back to flush left, and use your works cited format that you have learned either in Writer's Help or in a link to Purdue University or some other link I provided for you in the module. Okay, the new format for works cited, just a heads up, it is double spaced. It used to be single spaced in MLA format. It's now double spaced, but there are no extra spaces between entries. You just use a hanging indent. What a hanging indent means is that the second and third line of an entry are indented from the first line. Spacing bar up here, you grab the bottom block or the bottom arrow and you drag it into the 1/2 inch mark. If you grab it in the wrong place, the top one will move with it, and that's fine. So if you grabbed it and the top one moved with it, if you grab it by the box, the top one moves. You just then grab the top arrow and drag it back to this 1-inch margin mark. That's it. Let's next talk about putting the header on the page documents. So to get into your header space, you can double click here on the top, but the best way to do this is to go to Insert, Header. You want to pick the first one, which is blank. These are for business presentations and other kinds of things. This is a basic one for academic purposes. And you can do these next steps in any order. You don't have to do them in this order, but I prefer to go home and choose right align or flush right next. Type your last name. Whoops. Followed by a comma. Go back to Insert. Insert your page number. Do not have it show on the first page. Unclick that to be suppressed. This tells you here we're on the right, and this is our top of page alignment. Where did it go? Well, we told it not to show on the first page. That's where it went. I don't need it on page 1 because I see your name. I see what the document is. I know it's page 1 because it's got this information here. But if we go down to page 2, oh rats. Let's put page 2 in. There it is, top of page 2.